Welcome to Today with Audrey K. Come on, let's do a show.
We started dancing and love put us into a groove. As soon as we started to move.
Hello and welcome once again to Today with Audrey K. I am your host, Audrey K. And today, as usual, we have some very special guests in the house. And they are going to give you some information that you can use. We have a poet. We have women who are going to tell you about a conference where you can feel empowered as a woman. So now we're going to get right into it. We're going to jump right into it, and I'm going to have my guests introduce themselves to you. We'll start with you. Introduce yourself and tell us where you're from and what you're here representing.
Sure. My name is Amira Abu Yusuf, and I'm one of the co-organizers of the Light the Fire Women's Conference that will be held in August in downtown Joliet.
I'm Kay Bolden. I'm the executive director of the Warren Sharp Community Center in Joliet, and I'm also co-organizer of the Light the Fire Women's Empowerment Conference.
Okay, before you go and tell us who you are, I just want to tell my audience that this young man here who's about to introduce himself, he sent me one of his poems over, well, you texted it to me. Yeah, he texted it to me, and I was so impressed by it. Well, first of all, one of our producers heard it, who contacted me, and when I heard it, I said, wow, he would fit right into what we're going to be talking about today. So with that, introduce yourself.
My name is Rommel. I am a poet, and I am looking to publish my first book sometime soon. So.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's get right into it. Okay, Rommel, I want to talk to you first. First of all, I read your poem. It's absolutely great. I cannot even fathom a man having that much insight, and we're going to hear the poem, so don't worry. A man having that much insight into the situation that you spoke about in your poem, and I'm not trying to give anything away right now. And so tell me, before we even hear the poem, how did you come to, what was going on that you were able to write this poem like you did?
I think that particular poem was something that I noticed that a lot of my friends go through, a lot of your friends, a lot of people go through. So I wanted to sit down and just write a message, the ins and the outs, and being able to, hey, if you pay attention or just listen what somebody got to say, it's hindsight.
Okay. Now, is that the only poem? Do you have a book of poems that you have?
My first book that I will be publishing soon is a book of 55 poems.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's 55 poems. I am looking to do some advertisement and looking to do a lot of things with it.
Okay, so tell me this. What's the difference between a poet and a rapper? Or a poet, a rapper, and a spoken word artist? Can you tell me that?
That's a good question. What is the difference? For me, I would say a poet is more so the down on paper.
Okay.
A rapper is someone who takes it and turns it into a song using the beats and everything.
Okay.
And a person who uses spoken word is, I don't. It's like it's there, but you can't explain it.
Oh, okay. What about you? Let's talk about what a rapper versus a poet. Do y'all have any theories on that or any insight to that?
I would think that I really like what you said about how a poet puts it down on paper, where a rapper puts it to music and puts it to a different kind of rhythm.
Right.
And I think for me, a spoken word artist kind of is an amalgamation of the two. And spoken word, I think, takes different types of artistry. So sometimes they have it to music, sometimes it is the beat that they put their own voice to, and the performance where I think a lot of spoken word doesn't translate well to just reading it in a book. It really takes the presence of that performer on stage.
It's almost like you're acting. It's almost like the spoken word. It's like there has to be a certain edge or just an acting to your voice to make us feel what you're talking about. So that's, that's
A spoken word artist, I think, also like, really feeds off the energy in the audience.
Yes.
And really it leaves himself open to some improvisation and really reacting to how other people are
Can you do
receiving.
spoken word, right?
No, I do not.
I can't believe it.
But I do love to listen, and I can't wait to hear the poem.
But wait a minute. What time is it? Does anybody know what time it is?
Audrey K,
Yes, Daphne.
it's time for the big question.
The big question. What is the big question for today, Daphne?
Why should we forgive when people put us down?
Why should we forgive when people put us down? And as you know, all your guests look shocked, but that is a question for you guys. And we'd like to surprise you with that because we want to just off the cuff, just know what you would think about something like that and just give us some insight. Why should we forgive when people put us down? We're going to start with Kay.
Well, first of all, we have to forgive each other. I have to forgive my brothers and sisters because I am my sister's keeper, because I am my brother's keeper, and because forgiveness is a two-way street. It's not a gift that we give. It is it's something we do for ourselves. Because just because you forgive someone doesn't mean that they'll stop doing what they were doing or that they understand that they did
Right.
something wrong. It's a gift.
Okay. So when we forgive for very selfish reasons.
Sure. Sure.
I just had to throw that in there. I guess it is somewhat because we need it, right?
Absolutely.
We need it. Okay, Rommel, what do you say to that, to the question?
I think it's better to forgive because it helps you. You know, a lot of people hold on to grudges, and that stops prevent people from moving forward. You know, I think one of the biggest things that we as people have to learn is to let things roll off our back.
Oh, wow.
You know, a lot of things hold you up, stop you from progressing only because of you keep looking back. How you gonna see what's in front of you?
So says the poet. Very good. That's very good. Okay, Amira. Okay. Give us some of your wisdom and insight to
Wisdom
this.
and insight. I just really think that when you hold on to grudges, you're doing nothing but damaging yourself. You're damaging you as a person. You're angry. You're feeling the anger. It's tearing you up inside, but it's not doing much to that person that really hurt you. They might not even know you're angry. And
Yes.
so an act of forgiveness is a gift you're giving yourself. Then
Yes.
it's versus the other person. Now that gift can be shared and let them know, I forgive you, I'm willing to move on, I think we can make things better and repair that relationship. But really, intrinsically, it is for yourself, so you can move on and let go of that negativity and move forward.
Yes. Okay, what do you think about these people that ask God to forgive them, but they don't want to, but they don't want to go to the person to ask the person for forgiveness? That's something that I run into a lot. People go, God knows my heart. He forgave me. It's like, well, did you talk to the person? Anybody got any comments on that one?
Yeah, you can ask God for forgiveness, but just because God forgives you doesn't mean turn around and do the same thing again.
Yes.
So if you're going to apologize to God, well, just make sure that you apologize to the person that you did it to.
Yes. You guys hear
Yeah.
that? You can apologize to God, but make sure that you also apologize to the person who did it, who you did
To,
something
yeah.
to. All right?
And make amends.
Yeah.
Make amends if you can. If you can correct it, then do it.
Yeah.
And if you can't correct it, then say you're sorry sincerely, and don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that unforgiveness and to have an unforgiving spirit was like you drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to keep that in mind. So let's have a forgiving heart, because we're all in this together. We're all down here for a purpose on this earth, and we should all just do our best to just live peaceably together.
Yeah. Life is too short to be holding on to anger and
Yeah.
grudges.
Yes.
It's not
Yes.
worth it.
It's like a wisp.
Yeah.
It's you're here 1 minute and you're gone the next.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for that. But that also reminded me of a recent story in, I think it came on, it was in the Sun Times, and it came on the news about this young lady who basically was, they call it human trafficking now, but it's really a form of prostitution. And they found her body in a garage on Christmas Eve. Did you hear about that?
Yes.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of your poem. As a matter of fact, can we just let him do his poem right now? We're going to have you prepare yourself to just do this poem for us, and then that way a lot of what I'm saying will make sense to my studio audience.
Make sure.
The girl who only wanted to be accepted is only getting rejected, not just from the world, but from her peers. So now her heart is full with tears. She walks the earth thinking she's no better than dirt because her soul is hurt. She gets love in all the wrong places, in dark alleys and cold cars. She lives her life as a scar, infected and unsealed. She's wondered why nobody told her about this deal. Her life goes on this way. One night, her body was found decomposing and rotting away. No acceptance ever made and no progress ever laid. Another girl gone bad, and another day the world won't feel sad. Thank you. Yeah.
And she just found herself in an unfortunate situation at 16 years old. And pretty much what you spoke about right there was probably how she was feeling to even end up in a situation like that. Yeah, so I just want to talk about that just for a second, because men and women, because what I understand, there was a woman and a man involved in the situation and of the human trafficking. She had run away from home. She was staying with her grandmother, and she ran away from home. And when she ran away from home, she ran into this problem and to this guy who promised her, who basically set her up.
Yeah.
Now, there is something on the internet called Backpage, or what is it called?
Backpage.
Backpage. And you parents out there, every now and then, to look at your daughter's or your son's Facebook and see what they're doing. And do you think it's okay to check the text messages for for your kids or people you know?
Yeah.
And that's basically where this guy put her out there. That's how he put her out there, is through on Backpage.com, I believe that's where it is. So if you see something like that, just be aware that that's what that's about. And what is it with these, a lot of teens and a lot of children, they end up doing criminal activity with the assistance of adults. A lot of them, it's not just them trying to go. They have to have help. They have to have, a lot of them, they have to have help to get these guns, right? I mean, they don't?
No, I don't.
I
think
guess
so.
if they're illegal, it is.
Well, no, it's not that it's legal. It's not hard to find guns. It's not hard to find drugs.
For kids to find.
It's not, because that's the guy's target audience, if I could say. I mean,
But is that guy an adult most of the time?
it could be, it could not be. But it's not hard to get a hold of a gun, because you got 12-year-olds out here shooting people.
Yeah, and I wonder where they got that gun from. Wow. See, I'm following the breadcrumbs.
Okay.
And a lot of times the breadcrumbs is going to lead to some adult out here that's saying it's okay, that's helping them to indulge or anything or something like that.
Yeah.
So if you follow the breadcrumbs, I would say probably about at least 8 times out of 10, I believe it leads to some adult.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it leads
Yeah.
to some adult. So we're here, and that's why, one of the reasons why in the city of Joliet, they are doing a women's conference. And this is all about empowering women to look at themselves in a certain way.
Okay.
You said, you spoke about rejection and poison, rejection
Yeah.
and soul hurt. And I think that a lot of women and a lot of girls who are going to be women end up feeling this rejection and soul hurt. So why this conference, Amira?
I think because, especially with politics in this day and age, women are really put down. They face a lot of barriers. That glass ceiling is still there, no matter how many years it's been since the women's movement in the 70s. And so we really want Joliet to be the home of women feeling empowered, feeling like they can enter politics, like they can handle their finances, and giving them direction, and really becoming, to really light the fire, which is the name of the conference, to light the fire in Joliet to spark a movement.
Okay, so what is the age range that you're targeting?
I would say adolescent females to adulthood. Just any female who's really interested in empowering themselves. You know, we want to get to young women because, you know, before they get to college, you know, how many women go into social services versus going into math and science? And is it because they've been told for so many years women aren't great at science, so don't go into that field, or you can't be successful? And to really help women emerge themselves into male-dominated spheres so they can have more access to more things and be more autonomous.
You know, that's so interesting that you're saying so that they can immerse themselves in male-dominated spheres. But the thing is that if they don't have the confidence, if they're dealing with a lot of hurt, if they're dealing with people you can open all the doors in the world for them. And I know this is just one aspect of us trying to empower women, but I just want us to realize that if we as women, and men as fathers, uncles, brothers, or whatever, if we don't empower these girls and women mentally, then they can get to a door and they won't even open it. They won't go through. They won't go through. So what we're talking about at this conference is basically people who want to go through and may feel some kind of way about going through.
Right.
At one of our meetings, we talked about, and by the way, Audrey K, I will be the opening panel moderator for this conference, the Light the Fire Women's Conference in Joliet. What day is that?
It's Saturday, August 26th.
Okay, Saturday, August 26th. And so I will be there, and I will be the moderator for the opening panel. I'm very excited about that. And Kay,
Yes.
because we're all on different committees, and what committee are you on?
Finance and politics.
Okay, when you say politics, what are we gonna bring in these politicians and give them the what for?
We do have some. we do have some state representatives who will be joining us. Some women who have been in public service for a long time and have lots of wisdom to impart to young women. So many of our young girls, especially as they come out of high school or come out of college or just starting in the workforce, they've grown up their whole lives and have never seen a healthy relationship.
Wow.
They've never had healthy communication with men. They don't know what their capabilities are. And it's so important that we support them and that we support each other, because we need them.
Yes.
We need them to step up. We
Yes,
need
we
them
do.
they are the next generation, and they're going to run the world someday. And we need
Yes.
them to be ready.
And why are these relationships so unhealthy? What's going on? Why are these relationships so unhealthy? When you were growing up, did you have a male that would tell you how to treat a woman, to treat, your sisters, your mothers, your aunt, or whatever, or did you just have to kind of figure it out?
In between figuring it out and having to be told, I had to, I came together with it. One thing that, I did learn dealing with my mother was she kind of more so taught me how to understand women.
Oh, okay.
So me trying to understand women and learn how to listen and just being an open ear.
Okay.
You know, now with the male role models that I have in my life, you know, they taught me more so how to be the man in the relationship, not
Yeah.
overpowering, but to be
Yeah,
that.
because that's not
be
being a
there
man
when-
to overpower.
Right.
Yes.
So that being taught that,
Okay.
and just finding myself between the two, was what
Yes.
shaped me.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I wish we can have more, young men, period, that think like you think. And I just want to thank you. Actually, we're running out of time. So, yes, we are. So, before we exit this episode of Today with Audrey K, and you can reach me at audreyktoday@gmail.com. And if you're like Rommel here, who has a talent and you just want that exposure, you want that experience being on television, please email me at audreyktoday@gmail.com. We always want talent. We want good, positive talent. So, don't call me if you're trying to make somebody shoot their mama, because it's not going to happen. So, contact me, audreyktoday@gmail.com. Please like us on Facebook for Audrey K Today. And finally, I want Kay and Amira, you guys wrap it up and tell us the day, the time, and the place of this women's conference to empower women. Light the fire.
The Light the Fire Women's Empowerment Conference is Saturday, August 26th in Joliet at the Billy Lee Marker Will Joliet Bicentennial Park. The doors open at 9 o'clock. We have some fascinating, amazing, powerful, dynamic women coming to speak, including Karen McElrath, who's a local businesswoman, lots of local Illinois politicians to share their wisdom with you, and lots of support for the sisterhood.
Okay, so there you have it. And I want to close because, as I say, I usually try and meditate and concentrate, and God, He gave me another scripture for someone out there. So listen carefully and tell me if this is for you. Actually, it's 2 Timothy 1:7. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Is that you? Is this for you? God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Hopefully, you can, whoever that message is for, you can write me at audreyktoday@gmail.com and let me know if that message is for you. And in the meantime, as we always say, God is good. You better tell somebody.